Welcome to the Megacast, our live, local, 5 days a week TV, radio, and streaming show looking into all things Michigan. I'm Tyler Kieft. Today we'll be talking to a number of people about topics of interest and importance to Michiganders like you. Let's begin with our headlines today on CivicCenterTV.com's local news page. Our top article comes from the Detroit Free Press's Paul Egan. Michigan Supreme Court Chief Justice Bridget Mary McCormick will leave the Supreme Court before this year is over, as announced on Monday. Justice McCormick has been on the bench for over a decade, and she plans to retire officially on November 22nd with no future plans announced at this time for her career. Governor Gretchen Whitmer commented on the Chief Justice's impending retirement, saying McCormick, quote, worked tirelessly both on and off the bench to move our state courts forward and ensure that all Michiganders, no matter their background, means, or circumstance, had equal access to our justice system, and closed quote. So congratulations on successful career on the bench for Justice Bridget Mary McCormick, and good luck in what's next with you. Of course, we'll keep up to date on what's going to happen with the Michigan State Supreme Court following the retirement of their Chief Justice Bridget Mary McCormick. Also making headlines today, also from the Detroit Free Press's Detroit Free Press team, from Lily Altavena, that is the author of this article. There was a heightened police presence at Oxford High School on Monday, following a social media threat involving the school that experienced a mass shooting just under a year ago. Students, staff, and the community are understandably still shaken from the November massacre of 2021, making both these threats and the public safety reaction, including the increased police presence and the uncertainty regarding the credibility of the threat, an additional trauma for the entire Oxford community. Oxford was not the only victim of a phony threat on Monday, as Lincoln High School in Warren was also closed due to a threat over social media. Oxford and districts all across the state encourage you to speak up with any threats that you may hear of or learn of by using OK to Say, and a free app from the state of Michigan. Those reports may be made anonymously. Again, that app is called OK to Say. Your school district, as well as the Michigan.gov website, have more information on all the different ways that you can communicate with them by phone, by text, by email. There's so many different ways that you can anonymously report tips of any reported violence at your school, alleged violence at your school, impending violence at your school, or others that may be looking to harm themselves. You can report that anonymously and get yourself, your community, and of course your neighbors the help that they need in your school community. Finally, making headlines today on CivicCenterTV.com's local news page from the Detroit News' Kim Kozlowski. The controversy widens in East Lansing following reports on Monday that President Samuel Stanley was given until today to resign or face being fired for cause by the Board of Trustees. Some members of the board believe he should leave his post as president immediately. Some believe that just a simple apology for some of his behavior and decisions is in order. And others have denied that there is an ultimatum at all. What is going on in East Lansing? President Stanley is allegedly under fire from the Board of Trustees in relation to his handling of some of the university's cases in the office overseeing sexual misconduct and Title IX cases, as well as the handling of the recent firing of business school dean Sanjay Gupta. If MSU's president was to retire and fulfill this alleged ultimatum, he would stand to receive a full year's salary and would be leaving 2 years prior to the end of his contract. Should this go to a vote of the Board of Trustees to remove him from office, if he were fired for cause, in this case, he would not receive any compensation on his way out the door. Of course, this would then be the third president in just a handful of years to be removed from office or replaced from their office, leaving in disgrace at Michigan State University, beginning with Luana K. Simon following her gross mishandling of the Larry Nassar scandal on campus, involving a doctor on campus in the athletic department, mostly involving those on the gymnastics team, where he was, of course, violating those athletes under the guise of Michigan State University, and no action was taken from the university to thwart those actions. Then, of course, it was interim president John Engler, former governor of Michigan, who took over for Luana K. Simon as the president of the university, who made some very inappropriate comments regarding the victims of the Larry Nassar sexual violence on campus. And now, of course, it's Samuel Stanley, the current president at Michigan State University. Some controversy there between himself and the Board of Trustees. So lots to still come on that story. Of course, today is the alleged date of that ultimatum for the president of the university to resign. Will that happen? Was that ultimatum even made? I'm sure that there will be a lot more updates on this. All the more reason to click on that article on civiccentertv.com on our local news page. Keep up to date with that great reporting from the Detroit News and other outlets throughout the state of Michigan on this and other stories. While you're there on their websites, looking through their other articles, if you have the means to do so. Of course, we highly encourage you to subscribe to those publications and support journalism in your local community. All of those headlines are on our website, civiccentertv.com, on our local news page, along with links at the very top of the page to COVID-19 updates from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention at the federal level, the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services statewide, and the Oakland County Health Division here in our local area. We have a great show ahead on this Tuesday edition of the Megacast. Coming up next, we'll head to the theater with the Farmington Players. You're watching and listening to the Megacast.
Can I ask you a question? Why do you want to get the COVID-19 vaccine?
I don't like getting sick. The virus will die. It will be easy to not catch it. Keep my family safe and keep playing soccer. Because I love being vaccinated.
What's your hope for everyone?
I hope everybody gets the vaccine to keep safe and strong. Be like happy, having fun everywhere. Everyone stay safe and hope you get the vaccine.
Let's whoop it up for these moments. Made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the cheering going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date.
Fire Prevention Week is just around the corner. Join volunteer, part-time, and on-call firefighters at this year's Fire Open House. Catch up on your fire safety knowledge with live demonstrations and hands-on activities. Chat with local businesses and resources about fire prevention, see some familiar faces, fight future fires, and make some new friends. The West Bloomfield Fire Open House, October 2nd from noon to 3 p.m. at Fire Station 1 on Orchard Lake Road.
In the face of COVID-19, staying healthy is important. And now the same is true as we face the flu. Influenza has the potential to infect millions, putting lives and the healthcare system at risk. Fortunately, it's easy to protect yourself. The flu vaccine is safe and effective, and with COVID-19 still spreading, it's essential. To see how you can hit this virus head-on, visit michigan.gov/flu. Now that the vaccine is available for children 5 and up, why do you recommend it?
Kids are part of the community and they can spread COVID.
We're seeing both healthy children getting sick from the virus as well as children with underlying health conditions.
They can easily bring the virus home to other people that are vulnerable and make them sick as well.
This vaccine can change that and keep children safe.
It's essential that your children get vaccinated to protect them, to protect your families, and to protect those in the community around you.
Welcome back to the Megacast. I'm Tyler Kieft, joining us on our live, local, daily, 5 days per week TV, radio, and streaming show talking about all things Michigan. Learn more about our program on our website at civiccentertv.com/megacast, where you'll find information on our entire network of stations, including My Michigan TV, a free app that allows you to watch on your smart TV, on your smartphone, and on the web at mymytv.com, mymitv.com for more, or get a link straight to MyMy's website from civiccentertv.com/megacast. Joining us now, our first guests on today's edition of the program. We're pleased to be joined now by Tony Targen and Hilary Borlack from the Farmington Players, previewing their upcoming performance and upcoming show, Sweet Surrender, at the Farmington Players. Thank you both for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Appreciate having both of you on. So Tony Targen is the director of the play. Hilary Borlack is an actress from the show at the Farmington Players. The show begins on September 23rd and runs through Saturday, October 8th at the Farmington Players. Tony, let's start off with you. Give us an overview of this program and why people should go out and see Sweet Surrender at the Farmington Players.
Sweet Surrender is a hilarious farce, screwball comedy, reminiscent of the farces of the 1930s and 40s. The basic plot is we have two rival diva singers who absolutely despise one another, and they are at the hotel for a wartime benefit concert. Again, the play is set in 1942, so this is World War II era. And the hotel manager is doing his best to try to keep them as far apart as possible. But of course, they end up somehow assigned to the same suite. And it's basically the entire play is trying to keep the two of them from seeing each other and killing each other.
So for you, Hilary, preparing yourself for this role, what sort of communication between yourself and your co-star in this play that went along to create that kind of chemistry that you need to have this sort of a comedy be effective on the stage?
That is a great question. I did not know Rose ahead of time. Had never worked with her, had seen her perform once a long time ago and remembered she was very talented. So it was exciting to get to work with her. And I know that she is a professional musician. She coaches vocally. And so there was no fear about singing with her. I have gotten to know her well over these last weeks, worked very closely. So I think you have to sort of start in that friend zone and then work your way out to enemy, frenemy. And we have a lot of fun with it. I think you just got to take it as far as you can.
So, Tony, as the Farmington players are looking for some plays to perform in the fall, and really just in general, looking for plays to perform that can be done at a community theater level, what about Sweet Surrender was interesting to you from a director's point of view in taking on this challenge of putting on a stage play?
Well, I always enjoy a good farce, and I think farces are generally popular with our patrons. Anytime you have 6 or more doors slamming with people coming and going simultaneously, it creates a lot of tension and excitement and interest. And for me personally, I like plays where I have to map out and organize all of the scene changes. I counted up, we have 71 entrances and exits between the 9 actors in the 90-minute play. So there's constant motion, and that appeals to me from a directorial standpoint.
When there's a play that's especially a comedy that has, as Tony said, so much movement and so much interaction between especially a couple of characters in particular who are the main characters at the crux of the storyline. Hilary, for you as an actor, what sort of challenges does that present, being that it is an ensemble cast? It's not just you in that lead role, it's another person also that you're commonly interacting with, but also there are so many moving parts that you have to be reacting to while you're also acting in the process of playing your own character.
That's very true. It is probably my biggest fear to miss a cue. So you are constantly paying attention, listening, watching behind the scenes. If you aren't really in it the entire time, something could go wrong, which you never want to happen. Everybody's so talented, though. Everyone is on their toes. Everyone's paying attention. I have no worries at all. It'll be a ton of fun for everyone watching and for all of us on stage. We are really a good crew all together, the 9 of us.
Sometimes what's great about fast-moving comedies and farces like this, especially on the stage, is that spur of the moment reaction that comes up that maybe isn't scripted. Hilary, have you had some of those come up in rehearsals? And mind you, your director is here.
Right.
Don't want to go too far off script. And how does that add an element to these characters' interactions?
It's funny, you know, we might have at this moment lines here and there that get switched around just a little bit. And somebody may be listening really intently, understanding something might have been said just a tiny bit differently. So they go with the flow. They may jump ahead and it doesn't change anything for the audience, anybody who doesn't know the show word for word, but we know. And the exciting thing also is the dog. I had to bring that up as soon as possible. We love our dog, Mr. Boodles. And you never know, but Mr. Boodles is probably better than any of us. So
Mr. Boodles never misses a cue, never forgets her lines. So
Never.
As they say, dogs always perform exactly the way humans intend them to perform.
That's
We're joined
right.
by Tony Targen. He's the director of Sweet Surrender at the Farmington Players, as well as Hilary Borlack, who is an actress in this program. You can find more information by visiting farmingtonplayers.org. Farmingtonplayers.org for more information and to buy tickets as well. You can also call their box office for more information and to purchase tickets in advance. 248-553-2955. That's 248-553-2955 for more information. Farmington Players located on West 12 Mile Road in Farmington Hills, and Sweet Surrender will be performed Friday, September 23rd, going on through Saturday, October 8th at the Farmington Players. Hilary, so many times when people talk to actors about playing a variety of different roles, they talk about the difference between comedy and drama. And so many have said that if you can do comedy, you can do drama. But on the other side, it's really tough sometimes to go from drama to comedy. For you, what is your forte as an actor, and what challenges did a comedy, especially one that's a little bit more, as Tony has said, farcical and slapstick like this, bring to you as an actor?
I have always headed towards comedy, musical theater, over the top, farce. I've always loved it. It has just been a very natural thing for me. And maybe it's growing up watching Lucille Ball, things like that. I just really have been attracted to that. So when I read this script, I just knew I could really relate and understand and hopefully get the audience to enjoy a character like Athena. She is a riot. She is full of life and love and art and theatrics. It's a lot of fun. So I've never shied away from that, I guess, is the way to answer your question.
Farmingtonplayers.org is the website for more information. Showtimes Friday, September 23rd. And Saturday the 24th, 8 p.m. Sunday matinee on the 25th at 2 p.m. The next weekend over, Friday, September 30th, and Saturday, October 1st. It'll be 8 p.m. shows and 2 p.m. on Sunday, October 2nd. And the final weekend of showings will be Thursday, October 6th, and Friday, October 7th at 8 p.m., as well as a Saturday show also at 8 p.m. Again, more information, purchase tickets to see this show. Sweet Surrender at the Farmington Players on farmingtonplayers.org. Tony, what is it about this play that you believe will make audiences engaged and wildly entertained by this comedy at their local theater?
Well, basically, there is no intermission. There is one continuous scene. There are no breaks between scenes. And the action literally is nonstop. As soon as one door closes, another one opens. So the audience will be on the edge of their seat, waiting for, as the stakes escalate, waiting for the next shoe to drop. So it's laugh out loud funny, and the stakes are high for the characters. And I think the audience will share with that in that anticipation of what's going to happen next.
Tony Targen is the director of Sweet Surrender. We're also joined by Hilary Borlack, who is an actress from Sweet Surrender at the Farmington Players, beginning on September 23rd, running through Saturday, October 8th. More dates and times for the show and purchase tickets on farmingtonplayers.org. Tony, Hilary, before we let the two of you go, anything else about Sweet Surrender that we should know we haven't discussed yet today?
One thing I will point out, and this actually plays to Hilary's strengths, even though this is not a musical, we do have two musical numbers in the show, and Hilary and Rose Randall Warner play these diva singers. So there is some musical entertainment as well as the comedy, and we have some very good singers for that part of it.
Sweet Surrender. Please, Hilary, go ahead.
I appreciate that, Tony, and it's a joy to do. I've always loved singing. The music is perfect. It's really been chosen well for the time period, and I think the songs are really appropriate for what we're doing, and the people doing it are terrific. All the technical stuff behind the scenes, we appreciate that.
We appreciate both of you joining us and previewing this upcoming show that begins very shortly over at the Farmington Players. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
More information and showtimes, purchase tickets for this show beginning on September 23rd at 8 p.m. at the Farmington Players by visiting farmingtonplayers.org. You can also call them 248-553-2955, 248-553-2955. And again, the website, farmingtonplayers.org. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll talk all about suits and how wearing a suit from a local retailer might actually help some local charities as well. You're watching and listening to the Megacast.
Mark your calendars for the 11th annual Family Fun Night at West Bloomfield High School. Stop by on Friday, September 16th at 5 p.m. for an evening of free, fun activities as we honor our military, police, and fire heroes. Plus, stick around to see Laker football take on Clarkston at 7 p.m. To find out more, scan the QR code on your screen or visit wbsd.org/community/Family Fun Night.
Let's savor these moments. Made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the dining out going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date. Let's relish these moments, made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the festivals going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date. Can I ask you a question? Why do you want to get the COVID-19 vaccine?
I don't like getting sick. The virus will die. It will be easy to not catch it. Keep my family safe and keep playing soccer because I love being vaccinated.
What's your hope for everyone?
I hope everybody gets the vaccine to keep safe and strong. Be happy, having fun everywhere. Everyone stay safe and hope you get the vaccine.
Let's whoop it up for these moments, made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the cheering going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date.
Welcome back to the Megacast, our live daily 5 days a week TV, radio, and streaming show about all things Michigan. I'm Tyler Kieft. Learn more about the program on our website at civiccentertv.com/megacast, where you'll find more information on our partnering stations all across the Great Lakes State, including My Michigan TV. Joining us now on today's edition of the Megacast is David Elkus. He is the owner of Barron's Wholesale Clothiers, as well as Todd's Menswear, and is with us again on the Megacast. David, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for offering.
So
this morning.
Yeah, nice to see you as well. So we are in the middle of Barron's Wholesale Clothiers and Todd's Menswear Suitember, which is a men's shopping event that is aiming to strike a couple of different bullet points, a couple of different goals during the month of September that both involve suits. Tell us about those goals and what your campaign is during Suitember.
Sure. First and foremost, our goal is to be able to tell the world, why wearing a suit is a better choice than wearing casual, as it helps you have more authority. It provides a better look and commands more respect from the people around you. We're also using this as an opportunity to raise money for Friendship Circle. And at our Todd's store, we're running a trade-in event where people trade in their old suits for a new suit, the old suit going to vets returning home.
And so as people are participating in this through your two retailers for suits, how do those purchases then go and benefit some of these charities? How much of the funds from those purchases are going toward charities, and what charities are being supported through the Suitember initiative?
Sure. So let me go back one step. Suitember is really a national event. It's something that we started, and we've invited other retailers to join us with. We have retailers across the country who have joined in. You can see them on our website at suitember.com. And each retailer works their promotion a little bit differently with different charities. In our case, at Barron's, 10% of the sales of anyone coming in who mentions the Friendship Circle, 10% of their purchases will be donated directly to Friendship Circle. At Todd's, the suits that are being traded in are going to be given to vets returning home. They'll use them for their own purposes, whether it's job searches or rounding out a closet or providing a closet, or they also have a resale shop if it goes down that path, their choice. If you're not familiar with Friendship Circle, it's in West Bloomfield, a phenomenal organization. They help children with special needs, and now they're helping adults with special needs as well. It's really a beautiful facility, and they do wonderful, wonderful work.
More information can be found on Suitember at suitember.com. You can also learn more about the Friendship Circle by visiting friendshipcircle.org. Friendshipcircle.org to learn more about that. You can find participating retailers also. If you're not in this local area and can't go to Todd's or to Barron's, you can find all the participating retailers throughout Michigan, as well as many other states, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, Texas, California, and Virginia. Suitember.com for more information. David, what is the history and the background of Suitember? When did this begin, and why was this initiative initially put into place?
So the story actually starts about 3 years ago now. I was looking for an idea around how to promote suits, and at the same time, I needed to take a long drive to Chicago. I invited my daughter, 22 at the time, to join me for the long drive. She had lots of questions about her future, about the world, and so forth, and she jumped at the opportunity. While we were driving, she was talking all the way down to Chicago about her questions of the world. We stopped for lunch. She was talking. We did the business that I came to Chicago to do. And on the way back, she started it up again. I said, Audrey, I have to ask you a few questions. I need an idea to tell the world all about suits. We need like a month-long celebration of all things suits to explain why people will look better, act better. It's like a magic vitamin pill to be able to be the best you. What can we do? And she gave me a quick look and said, well, that's obvious, Dad. Suitember. Can we get back to my questions? And there it was. So we went ahead and rolled forward with it. We've copyrighted the name and offered to other retailers to be able to do the same, trying to put together a real initiative to explain why wearing a suit will help you be the best you, as opposed to being more casual.
And just these few years since, this has really expanded. It's gone beyond your two retailers to other retailers in Michigan and in several states and different regions of the country. How surprised are you, if at all, that this has grown so significantly in just these few years that you've been doing this?
Well, I think that the suit retailers of the country all know the secret, and it's no secret. I mean, it used to be common for people to dress for work. Dress for success comes from legitimate scientific studies. And indeed, there are plenty of other studies since then in the past couple of years also reflecting that people work better when they're wearing suits. So I'm not surprised that it's grown. I guess really where I'm surprised is that more retailers haven't said, this is a great idea. Let's start working this message as well within our communities.
We're joined by David Elkus. He is the owner of Barron's Wholesale as well as Todd's Clothiers, joining us, Todd's Menswear and Barron's Wholesale Clothiers joining us today on the Megacast. You can learn more about Suitember as well as all the participating businesses here in Michigan and throughout the U.S. by visiting suitember.com. That is suitember.com, SUITEMBER.com for more information and how you can participate as well. So let's go back down to that confidence boost and that productivity boost that you said comes from people wearing a suit and just being in that sort of a mindset that comes with wearing that particular outfit? What are some of those benefits that you have found and others have found to be what comes from wearing a suit and dressing up, even in situations outside of the office, maybe, where suits aren't commonplace?
So again, this is scientific research that's been shown. It's been reported in the Wall Street Journal, amongst other places, and Psychiatry Today, I believe, is the other periodical it appeared in. When people are wearing suits, it changes their own mindset as well as the mindset of the people that they're working with. You've heard, of course, the derogatory term of somebody talking about mindless management in suits, but the reality is when someone's wearing a suit, they do command more respect. They do think differently than when they're wearing casual. It tells the body we're in work mode and we're here to do something important and let's get to it, as opposed to putting on casual clothing, which tells the mind that it's time to relax and take it easy. Studies have shown that when you're dressed well, that you're able to negotiate better, think more creatively, interestingly enough, and to put out your best effort. Casual Fridays started back in the late 80s as an event from Levi Strauss. They had hired a psychologist who came to the determination, as requested, to find that people were more comfortable wearing jeans to work, and therefore they should be more creative. It wasn't necessarily a great link to that study. However, that's what happened. And at the time, corporate America was looking for ways to provide benefits to their people that didn't cost anything. So we now have Casual Fridays, which of course ran across the country like wildfire, and Casual Days, period, became the norm today. But nobody went back and said, were we more efficient? Were we working better? Were we more effective before or after? And studies now have shown that, in fact, people are more effective when they're wearing suits.
So another effort within Suitember is your trade-in and trade-up program. Give us an overview of that, how people can participate if you're looking to get an upgrade in their suit.
Certainly. Thank you for asking. So our trade-in promotion at Todd's Menswear in Royal Oak, someone comes in with their old but perfectly serviceable suit, trades it in towards a new one. They receive dollars off of their new suit purchase, and the old suit is given to vets returning home in Roseville. They have a mission to help veterans who are coming back to this country after their service and are having a difficult time reintegrating into society. So they use their resources to help those people come back into society and be productive members again. It's a wonderful program. They do very good work and they help a lot of people get back on their feet. So we're very pleased to be able to work with them.
We're joined by David Elkus. He is joining us from Barron's Wholesale, Clothiers, and Todd's Menswear, where he is the owner of both those businesses. On today's edition of the Megacast, you can learn more information about Suitember, including all the locations participating here in Michigan and around the U.S. by visiting Suitember.com. Suitember.com is the website for more information. And David, when we had you on last year to talk about Suitember, we had a little bit more time. We're a more abbreviated show now. It's just an hour, so these segments are a little bit shorter. But you talked about kind of the extensive history of the suit and the ways that it's changed over the years and how the trends have kind of led into one another and maybe even crossed back along the way. And so right now, at this moment in time, what are you noticing as someone that's in that industry are some of the trends that people are following in their purchases for suits and the styles they're going along with a really versatile outfit that is the suit?
So, interesting question. Thank you for asking. So, nothing is ever static in the world of fashion. In menswear, it always looks the same until you start looking a little bit closer. And there's always different pockets, different trends, different things that excite different people for different reasons. So, as time has gone on, we found that the idea of dressing well has shifted over time. It has gone from very extensive garb of Elizabethan era into a sleeker, more modern fit that we wear today. The goals were to make it universal, to make it more approachable, easier for people to wear, while still looking crisp, clean, and effective. And we still see the same trends in place today. The differences are, again, pockets of different style, pockets of different fashion. So for the past number of years, we've seen tighter fitting clothes, slim fits, extra slim fits, super slim fits, pasted on slim fits, if you will. Now it's starting to go in the other direction. It'll take quite a while for it to really turn the ship of fashion, but we're starting to see styles become a tad looser, a little bit more open, a little bit more comfortable. This, by the way, is not only in suits, but in jeans and casual clothes as well. And you'll start to see that progress, and you'll notice it over the next year or 2 or 3. We're also seeing trends for colors going in both directions. That is, lots of guys who don't own many suits are sticking with very traditional clothes, solid navies, charcoals, a little bit brighter blues. But we see other guys who are wearing clothing to express themselves go off into some more interesting looks, some more interesting designs that have double-breasted clothing, very wide lapels, decorations on the coats, just unusual sorts of looks to stand out and to be seen. So yes, it's always changing. It's very dynamic. And while the pandemic has slowed some of that growth down, on the other hand, the different pockets of fashion have exploded in their own worlds. So some of the novelty or interesting looks have become out there and really interesting, really cool. But it will all shift again as the seasons continue.
More information can be found on Suitember.com, including a nice little piece about the history of suits, as well as, of course, all of the businesses here in Michigan, all the retailers here in the Great Lakes State and throughout the region and across the country that are participating in Suitember. Go out and explore this website, learn more about Suitember, maybe even explore upgrading your suit and helping some people in your local community through these retailers that are participating. David, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Tyler, for giving me the opportunity.
Again, the website is Suitember.com. We'll take a break on the Megacast. When we come back, we'll talk to an organization that is helping to provide some interventions for those who are pregnant, both before, during, and after their pregnancy for the benefit of the born child. That's coming up next. You're watching and listening to the Megacast.
Fire Prevention Week is just around the corner. Join volunteer, part-time, and on-call firefighters at this year's Fire Open House. Catch up on your fire safety knowledge with live demonstrations and hands-on activities. Chat with local businesses and resources about fire prevention, see some familiar faces, fight future fires, and make some new friends. The West Bloomfield Fire Open House, October 2nd from noon to 3 p.m. at Fire Station 1 on Orchard Lake Road.
In the face of COVID-19, staying healthy is important. And now the same is true as we face the flu. Influenza has the potential to infect millions, putting lives and the healthcare system at risk. Fortunately, it's easy to protect yourself. The flu vaccine is safe and effective, and with COVID-19 still spreading, it's essential. To see how you can hit this virus head-on, visit michigan.gov/flu. Now that the vaccine is available for children 5 and up, why do you recommend it?
Kids are part of the community and they can spread COVID.
We're seeing both healthy children getting sick from the virus as well as children with underlying health conditions.
They can easily bring the virus home to other people that are vulnerable and make them sick as well.
This vaccine can change that and keep children safe.
It's essential that your children get vaccinated to protect them, to protect your families, and to protect those in the community around you.
Mark your calendars for the 11th Annual Family Fun Night at West Bloomfield High School. Stop by on Friday, September 16th at 5 p.m. for an evening of free, fun activities as we honor our military, police, and fire heroes. Plus, stick around to see Laker football take on Clarkston at 7 p.m. To find out more, scan the QR code on your screen or visit wbsd.org/community/family fun night.
Let's savor these moments, made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the dining out going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date. Let's relish these moments, made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the festivals going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date. Can I ask you a question? Why do you want to get the COVID-19 vaccine?
I don't like getting sick. The virus will die. It will be easy to not catch it. Keep my family safe and keep playing soccer because I love being vaccinated.
What's your hope for everyone?
I hope everybody gets the vaccine to keep safe and strong. Be happy, having fun everywhere. Everyone stay safe and hope you get the vaccine.
Let's whoop it up for these moments, made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the cheering going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date.
Welcome back to the Megacast, our live daily 5 days per week TV, radio, and streaming show talking about all things Michigan. I'm Tyler Kieft. Learn more about the program by visiting civiccentertv.com/megacast, where you'll find information on our partnering stations all across the Great Lakes state, including My Michigan TV. Joining us now on the Megacast from the Lennon Center is Mariann Bolton. She is the director of the Lennon Center, which is an organization that provides non-judgmental counseling, material assistance, and education before, during, and after pregnancy. Mariann, thank you very much for joining us today.
Oh, no, thank you.
Appreciate everyone. So I give a little bit of a brief overview there, brief description, one sentence about the Lennon Center and some of the services that it provides. Can you go into more about the history of this organization and some of the services that it provides to mothers before, during, and after the pregnancy?
Absolutely. So we were established in 1994, and we were established to provide free, confidential, non-judgmental counseling and assistance to all women who were pregnant and parenting. We have lots of resources for families. What we want to do is support that woman through her journey of pregnancy, as well as after she has her child, for 3 or 4 years. So we're happy to be with you and share our story.
Yeah, and it's interesting because so many people, when they think about pregnancies, they think about parents who have decided that they want to start a family or they want to continue a family. And in many of those cases, they've done the proper calculations and the balance and pros and the cons, and for their personal life on certainly the financial toll that going through a pregnancy and then, of course, raising a child takes on a person and a family. And for others, that's not the case. And so regardless of what that situation is, these interventions can be critical for the health and the safety of the mother during the pregnancy, but also for the safe birth of a child and a successful early childhood for that baby after. So how does your organization with these interventions help to provide those services to these mothers and these families in need? And what sort of benefit comes from these services?
So basically, we offer free pregnancy tests, free ultrasounds, free counseling. We have an education-based program where we support women all the way from their pregnancy to their child is basically ready to go off to school. All you have to do is call us. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, our website, lennonCenter.org. We provide verification for a positive pregnancy that a mom might need to take to DHS in order to get her assistance going. Sometimes, like you just said, people are not always thinking that this is the exact right time for them to have a child. And we work with them to let them know we've got resources to help them. We use lots of resources throughout the community. I think that's a big part of what we do is to understand that no one does this really alone, right? That we want families to thrive. And how do we do that? We get the whole community involved, in resources, and in education. We faced a lot of isolation during COVID, didn't we? We don't have the support that we might usually have. Sometimes we live in cities away from family. Sometimes we have broken relationships in the larger family picture. Times are different now. We might feel like we have this economic strain, and how am I going to do this again? I'm a single parent. How can I do this? So we want to meet each woman individually, let them know that we're in this with them together. We're going to walk this walk with you for the next 4 or 5 years, and let you know that we might not have all the resources, but we can try to connect you also to other resources where you can find help.
And so, who qualifies for these services? Are there certain requirements that have to be met for mothers to get these services from the Lennon Center?
Not at all. No, it's strictly just anyone who feels like they need some help, little assistance, even in the best of times, right? Or you might think, oh, I'm doing really well, okay, by myself. And then maybe you lose a job, right? So none of us are, can cope with those kinds of situations. So that's why we're here, to talk to you, to walk this walk with you and let you know, there's a lot of assistance out there. There's a lot of help. And even like a channel like yourselves, just enlightening people on resources throughout the community, right? That we might even not even know about. And no one is turned away based on financial circumstances at all. Anyone is able to receive our assistance.
We're joined by Mariann Bolton, the director of the Lennon Center, joining us on today's edition of the Megacast. You can learn more information about their services and get involved at lennoncenter.org. lennoncenter.org for more information on the Lennon Pregnancy Center. Mariann, you mentioned earlier on that these services after the pregnancy, after birth, continue for about 3 to 4 years. Mm-hmm. Why that time period after birth to continue these services and these interventions with mothers?
Well, I think a lot of times moms might not be able to go out and get a job, right? Or maybe they have multiple children at home and they just can't provide financially. There's also a lot of stress with that new family, right? We hear a lot about pre and postpartum depression. So it might not be the opportune time for that mom to go out into the workforce or to continue her education. And what a feeling of isolation, right? To feel like I'm alone doing this. I really don't know anybody else my age who's going through this. Or a lot of my friends look like they have it all figured out, but I'm facing some stressors. Or maybe I am with dad and we're just juggling. We've got a lot going on. Maybe, they're spending a lot of hours away at work and I'm feeling pretty isolated. So it's about building a community here at the Lennon Center. And so you can attend class, maybe in person if you're feeling you're up to do that. If not, we do Zoom classes 3 times a week. When you are in class, you are eligible to receive baby items. All of our items are brand new or very gently used. We have things like diapers, wipes, clothing, larger items, sometimes like pack and plays. We work closely with community resources to maybe get some car seats and have some car seat classes. We also have a lot of guest speakers during our classes, people throughout the community or have great skill sets to teach us things like maybe we've got a mom who had a new baby and she feels like she has to go back to work, but she doesn't know how to start on that resume, right? So we want to find someone to sit down with you and say, hey, let's talk about what your talents and your gifts are. Let's do a practice mock interview so you feel like you've got a little bit of confidence going on. So I think those are very formative times, not only for a baby, but a formative time for a mom and a family, aren't they? Because we're both learning from each other. None of us get a handbook that say, this is what you do to raise a child, right? Sometimes we learn along the way. And we're not as interconnected sometimes with our larger family structure. We might feel isolated, especially like I just mentioned, through COVID or other things. Maybe we work nights and so we have to have an odd schedule during the day. And I don't really have a lot of information or help around. So that's why we want to make sure we're in contact with these ladies all the time. Let them know they can come in 3 times a week or just through video conferencing and we'll work together.
And so you mentioned that there are classes and there are different various options for people if they need some of these interventions. Yeah, can you go over just some of the divisions of those interventions briefly with us, in case people are coming in and maybe they're financially able to go through with this, but they just need some counseling, or they're
Right.
first-time parents and they have some questions of what do I do in the weeks and months after the birth of my child? What sort of resources are there available and that people can pick from the Lennon Center?
Sure. So if it's something like talking about parenting or pregnancy, we have a nurse manager on staff. Myself, I'm an educator and I have a psychology degree, so I'd love to sit down with a mom like that and say, you know, this is kind of typical of what you're going through. Sometimes girls will take me aside and go, you know, Mariann, I got a little thing going on at home. Can you sit with me? And we'll sit down and walk through it. Maybe it's something where you need a community resource. Like, for instance, this in the fall, I have a dental intern who's coming in and doing all about taking care of your teeth while you're pregnant, taking care of your kids' teeth. So we're expanding our knowledge, right, of what it means to be a parent, but also we're establishing relationships. And that's really, I think, what we're good at, is having great relationships with our clients. We have women who have been part of our program for 3, 4, 5 years. Sometimes they don't need us anymore, but they'll pop in and say, hey, we wanted to say hi to you. So it's almost like a family structure that we've tried to create as well. And it builds confidence, right, in that family.
And all those different interventions and the confidence that comes from it, the lessons they learn, they all have mounting impacts on the child and the children as well. So Mariann, thank you very much for joining us. We got about 30 seconds left. Anything else we should know about the Lennon Center before we let you go?
Sure. You can learn more about us, obviously, on our website and our other little social media, but also just to let you know that we love to have volunteers. We talk about time, talent, and treasure. Maybe you have a skill that you want to share. Maybe you just want to come in and help and work with some moms, or help us just do organizational things around the office. We're always in need of extra hands and hearts. And if you feel like you're being called to do that, I'd love to have you either call us or check our opportunities on the website, and tell others about us.
Well, Mariann, we appreciate you joining us. Thank you very much for telling us more about the Lennon Center and its services.
Thanks for your invitation. Have a great day.
Lennon, you as well. LennonCenter.org for more information. You can also call and text them. Their number 313-277-5637. 313-277-5637. That is going to do it for this Tuesday edition of the Megacast. If you're just tuning in or you missed some of our program today, fear not. You can find all of our interviews and this full episode, as well as all of our episodes dating back to the beginning of this program in March of 2020 on our website, civiccentertv.com/megacast. Go to the bottom of the screen. You'll see watch full episodes, watch full interviews, and you can find all of our programs on demand. They're usually posted sometime on our website mid to late afternoon, as well as on our YouTube page at Civic Center TV 15. On our Megacast page, you'll also find more information on all of our partnering stations as well, and learn more about their original programming happening on the daily and on the weekly in your local community. Big thank you to all of our guests on today's program, and especially a thank you to our crew that makes this show possible 5 days a week, live from 10 a.m. until 11 a.m. Jared Clark and Calvin Brown, usually at Master Control. Today, it's just Calvin Brown. And of course, a big thank you to Larry Nyland, the king of television, our producer. That's it for Tuesday's Megacast. We'll return tomorrow with a new episode.